Hello everybody! Welcome to the next episode of Hornberger's Hobbies. I've got a special guest today. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Zane.
My son Zane. So we're going to start... I said son.
I thought you said son.
Yes, you are my son. So we're going to start learning how to flare some brake line today. I've got some nickel copper brake line. The reason I use nickel copper is because it will never ever rust. And that is some good safe assurance. It's much more expensive as compared to normal brake line. But in my opinion, it's worth it. So I'm just going to set it in this vise so that you can kind of see what we do here. And I'm going to undo all of what I have. I was just playing around with it the other morning before work. I'm going to undo everything, and then I'm going to make Zane do it after I do one side. So he's going to learn too. All right, so you got to get your flare nuts. On the 68 Cadillac, everything is a double flare. You know, if you've got some crazy old metric car or European car, it might be bubble flare. When I did my buggy, I had to fight between doing bubble flare and double flare. And then you just get all tongue-tied and you don't know what you're actually doing. So, anyways, we got a flare kit here. First step is to make the tubing stick out the thickness of your die here. So I'm right there. Did you see what I did, Zane?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and crank down on this. Now, for the fun part. You take the die and you make the needle go into the hole. Now, sometimes you have to fight it a little bit. That one went in pretty well. Because as you cut the tubing, you're kind of squishing it on the inside. And if you don't clean off that little bit of, what's it called? If you don't clean it off or dig it out, it can be hard to get back in there. Hard to get the jig in there. Alright, so we've got the jig in there. Now, I'll pull this all the way out. We put our little clamp on here. Right, buddy? And you know what? We're going to be smart about this and actually use a ratchet. Let's see what we got.
Is this screwed in here?
Yes. Alright. You know what? I forgot that I usually do something here. I'm going to put a little squirt of WD-40 and by little squirt, I mean little squirt, because it helps in shaping the metal. You know, and I tell you what, I had a Craftsman 1/4-inch drive ratchet for years and years. Gave out a couple years ago. So then I went to Lowe's because Craftsman was out of business. Went to Lowe's and got a Cobalt one. Had a lifetime warranty on that one. I finally had it broken into where it was working nice and easy, you know, ratcheting nice and smooth, and then it broke. So then I went back, and well, guess what? Lo and behold, they're not selling Cobalt anymore. Now they're selling Craftsman. And this Craftsman that I just got as a replacement. Now granted, you know, they're good about warrantying it, but this Craftsman that I got, its ratchet is tough, so you know, it kind of makes it hard. So anyways, all right, we're going to flare this thing out until we get a nice bubble. And then we're going to back it off. So we got that bubble sitting in there. back this off until I can get it out of the way. And now I'm going to get a little flathead pry bar. And we're going to pull out the die. So now, so you see that shape? Now, if we left it that way, some people use it that way, and they call that good enough for a bubble flare. A bubble flare kind of has it going the opposite direction, but a double flare has to go on the end. So now we take this, and line it up in the center of that hole. Oop. Oop. Gotta get it in that hole. And then we compact it. Now, if you don't lubricate this while you're doing it, it can mar the copper, especially on nickel copper brake line. So now if you're just using steel brake line, I don't think it would matter too much. We unclamp it. And there we have it. We have one flare joint completely done, all nice and ready to roll. There you go, see? And see, if you look in here, buddy, you see how that thing kind of has like a convex spot? So when you put this into there, it mates, right? Yeah. And then the nut holds it nice and tight. And then all you gotta do, tighten it down, bleed the brakes, and we're done. So we're going to do a little bit of a time lapse now and do the, hold on. We will do the other side. You're gonna do the other side. But we need to bend it to the shape of the rear axle. So this piece is just long enough to do the rear axle. It's got a couple pieces to it. So we're going to do the couple pieces for the rear axle. I've got a tubing bending kit that I use for HVAC. I just took the die out of that so that I can use it to hand bend the 1/4 inch tubing. And then I can bend it to whatever shape I need. So we're going to go out there and do a little time lapse on us doing that brake line. And hope you enjoy. Take it easy. Open. I'm sorry. Sorry. All right, and so here we have it. The frame is officially ready to go back underneath the car. You can see I've got all the brake lines ran. Got a new brake hose there. And I stated before that I used nickel copper. I used pure copper for the fuel lines. That's just because I had it on hand. So the fuel line is held on by these clips that I 3D printed. And the brake lines are held on by a similar clip, also 3D printed. So I left the lines long because I don't know exactly where the fuel line is going to end up. I don't know where the brake lines are going to exactly end up. And I left the front ones completely out of where they usually go because, let me get around to the other side here. Normally, it would terminate right here. And same on the other side. And then the brake line ran from here back behind this into the side of the caliper. Now I'm using a different caliper that uses a banjo fitting. So I may want to relocate my brake line somewhere over here. Sorry, that was a bad camera angle. Somewhere over here, just so that it's easier for it to contact the caliper. That's it for now. Hopefully the next video will be us shoving it back up underneath there, making it one again. See y'all later.